Hello viewers, my name is Muhammad Hamid. Hamid I am a young school student at campus student at shortcut. I am start Maya.
Hey there.
Hello
Good to
Maya,
hear your
can you
voice
hear me?
again. How's your day going?
Hello Maya, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Sounds like we might have had a little hiccup there. Did you say hello, Mai, or something else?
Okay, my first question is what does Shah mean?
I'm not quite catching what it refers to there. Could you clarify what you're asking about?
Okay, my next question is why do people use
Go ahead. What's your next question?
my question is what do people use she?
I'm still a little unclear what you're asking about there. What do people use for what?
Okay,
Are you
what
still trying to?
where is Shah commonly used?
I'm having a bit of trouble with the audio. It's coming through a little garbled. It sounds like you were asking about what people commonly use. Could you try rephrasing that, maybe just saying it more slowly?
Okay,
Take your time, no rush at all.
how usually Shah says Shah?
Sounds like you're saying cheers and yeah, is that right? I can definitely hear a little static in your audio.
Okay, my next question is Shah a word or a sound?
I think you're asking if cheers is a word or just a sound. Well, it's definitely a word. It's a way to say thanks or goodbye in British English, and it's been around for centuries, but can also feel more like a joyful sound when you say it, right? Like you're raising a glass with someone. Does that make sense?
Okay, my next question is
I'm listening.
what is the proper of silence?
That's a really interesting question. What do you mean by proper silence? Are you wondering about how long you should pause in conversation or something else entirely?
Okay, my next question is can children understand Shah?
I'm not quite catching that. Could you repeat your question?
My question is can children understand Shah?
Can children understand what? Are you asking if children can understand a specific thing or
Okay, my next question is how did Shah originate?
I'm still a little fuzzy on that one, which she are you asking about? The audio keeps breaking up, so it's hard for me to catch who you're referring to.
Okay, my next question is did ancient and can people use similar sounds?
I'm sorry, I'm really struggling with the audio quality here. I can only catch bits and pieces. I'm hearing ancient and sounds, but I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you wondering if ancient people used similar sounds to greetings or something like that? If you could type it out, that might help clear things up.
Okay, my next question is how has Shah evolved over time?
Again, I'm having trouble with the audio. I think you're asking about how I has evolved over time. If you're asking about the history of the pronoun I in English, that's actually pretty fascinating. The word I goes way back to Proto, Germanic. The Old English version was ik, and it gradually changed to eek over the centuries. So it's been around for a long time, but the spelling and pronunciation evolved gradually over centuries of use. Is that what you were curious about?
Okay, my next question is was silence important in ancient cultures?
Absolutely. Silence actually held a lot of weight in many ancient cultures, more than it does for a lot of us now. In places like ancient Greece and Rome, silence was often considered a sign of respect, wisdom, or even contemplation. Think about how often philosophers like Socrates would use silence to make people think. And in some Native American traditions, silence was essential for ceremonies and spiritual practices. There's this idea that paying attention to what wasn't being said was just as important as listening to what was. Makes you wonder how much we're missing out on when we fill every moment with noise.
Okay, my next question is how did early humans signal quietness?
I'm sorry, I'm still really struggling to understand what you're asking there. I hear humans and algorithms, but the rest is pretty garbled. Are you asking about how algorithms influence human behavior or something else entirely?
Okay, my next question is how did school
I'm still not entirely.
adopt
Let me check what I can find on that. Oh, I think I understand your question now. It sounds like you're asking about religious education in Pakistani schools, specifically with Shah involved. There's actually a recent initiative in Sindh province, Pakistan, where they're adopting religious textbooks for Hindu students in public schools. The Minister of Education, Syed Sardar Ali Shah, directed it, and they'll be using books published by an organization called Prem Sagar Kin Sanstha starting in the next academic year. Hey there, what's going on with you today?
my question is how do humans respond to quiet sounds?
I didn't quite catch that. Sounds like the connection might have gotten a bit fuzzy there. Could you say that again?
Okay, my next question is how does share affect and brain?
Hang on, let me check that out. Okay, so gunshot wounds to the head cause damage both from the bullet directly penetrating the brain and from the pressure wave created by the bullet moving through it. This leads to bleeding, swelling, and damage to brain tissue. The severity of the damage depends on things like how big the bullet is, how fast it was moving, and the path it took. Unfortunately, these kinds of wounds have a very high fatality rate. Around 90% of cases are fatal. It's really serious injury.
Okay, my next question is why is silence claiming?
Mm, I'm not sure I followed that. It sounds like there might have been some audio trouble on your end. Did you want to ask about why silence is important or something else?
Okay, my next question is can silence reduce stress?
Mm, I'm not sure what you're asking for there. Could you clarify that for me?
Okay, my next question is why did people respect quiet comments?
Let me see what I can find on that. So it looks like people respond positively to sweet comments because they actually trigger feel good chemicals in the brain, like dopamine and serotonin. That's why compliments make you feel happier and more motivated. It's also a kind of social glue. Good comments build trust and connection between people. Basically, they boost self esteem, improve your mood, and reduce stress. Makes sense why people value them so much, right?
Okay, my next question is uh, uh, why did people respect quit? Sorry, is share more effective than shooting?
Give me just a sec on that. That's a pretty broad question. It depends a lot on what you mean by shooting and sharing. If you're talking about in sports, like basketball or soccer, sharing, meaning passing the ball, is actually more effective for creating good scoring opportunities and building teamwork. Teams are more successful when players look to pass and work together instead of just taking every shot themselves. Of course, shooting is important too, but passing often makes the whole team better.
Okay, my next question is how does tone affect communication?
I'm not picking up clearly what it refers to there. Can you tell me what you meant by that?
Okay, my next question is what emotions are linked to silence?
Just a moment, checking on that. So, silence can actually be tied to a whole bunch of emotions. There's the good side, like feeling more clear headed, aware of yourself, and less stressed when you've had some quiet time. And it can also help with creativity and focus. But then there's the harder stuff. Silence can amplify anxiety and stress if you're dwelling on things that are bothering you. If someone is giving you the silent treatment, that's linked to feeling rejected or isolated. It's pretty complex, really. Silence can be both healing and hurtful depending on the situation.
Okay, my next question is why do people seek silence with peace?
Let me think about that one. It seems like people look for silence when they need peace because it cuts through all the noise and distraction. It gives your mind space to clear up, reduces stress, can even lower blood pressure, and helps you concentrate better. Really, silence gives you space to think, be more aware of yourself, and connect with what's inside. It's kind of like hitting the reset button on your mind. Though the results mention that finding real peace isn't just about quiet, you can find peace even when things are chaotic.
Okay, my next question is how does share control behavior?
Give me just a second to look into that. Okay, so apparently, silence can actually be used to control how people act. When someone gives you the silent treatment, it forces you to wonder what you did wrong and overthink things. That anxiety can make you change your behavior just to avoid getting that silence again. It can also be a way to apply pressure. You feel like you have to earn back someone's attention. The more extreme version of that is the manipulative silent treatment, which is basically emotional punishment used to control or punish someone. Pretty intense stuff.
Okay, my next question is when can she be rude?
I'm a little unclear on who she refers to. Could you clarify that for me?
Okay, my next question is how does culture affect its use?
Let me find out about that. Culture has a huge impact on how people view silence. In the West, we tend to see silence as awkward or even rude, so people usually rush to fill any quiet spaces. But in a lot of Eastern cultures, silence is actually meaningful. It can show respect, thoughtfulness, or just give someone time to think. Some cultures use silence to show they respect someone higher up or to keep the peace and avoid conflict. It's wild how much it varies. What feels normal in one place might be considered impolite in another.
Okay, my next question is
I'm
used
not catching what you meant.
differently in public and private
Sorry,
spaces?
still not. I'm really struggling to understand what you're asking about with those fragmented questions. Could you maybe try asking in a different way or typing it out instead? It'll help me understand what you're trying to say.
Okay, my next question is can Shaq create authority?
Mhm. Let me see what that's about. Turns out that silence can actually make someone seem more like a leader. When people use strategic pauses, it makes their words more impactful and gives others a chance to really hear what they're saying. Also, leaders who can stay calm and quiet in stressful situations usually come across as more confident and thoughtful. Listening quietly also helps them understand people better, which builds trust. So, yeah, silence can definitely create an impression of authority. Hey there. What's going on with you today?
Okay. eh, how do teachers use?
Hey, could you say that again? I'm not catching what you're trying to ask there. Sounds like it got a bit cut off.
Okay, my next question is how do parents use?
Still a bit unclear. Are you asking about how parents use silence or how teachers use silence? Could you clarify what you meant by how to?
Okay, my next question is can influence group behavior?
Give me just a sec on that. So you're asking about how um, cancer influences behavior, right? I can give you a general overview. People going through cancer often experience pretty big emotional shifts. Dealing with a life threatening illness can lead to things like anxiety, depression, or just feeling really withdrawn or more focused on relationships, or they might pull away from others. Physically, the cancer itself or treatment can cause fatigue and pain, which can also change behavior.
Okay, my next question is verbal or non-verbal communication?
Hmm. I'm not sure I'm following you there. Did you mean check, as in is checking in verbal or nonverbal? Or were you asking about something else?
Okay, my next question is how is body language used with the
Hmm. Let me see if I can untangle that. You're wondering how body language works when you're chatting online, right? It's interesting because we usually rely on a lot of nonverbal cues like facial expressions, gestures, and posture in face to face conversations. When you're chatting, you don't have any of that. So people use things like emojis, GIFs, and the way they write, punctuation, caps lock, speed to add emotional color to what they're saying. It's basically people finding new ways to show tone and feeling without being there in person.
Okay, my next question is what gesture accompany
I'm sorry, I'm still not catching what you're asking there. Could you maybe type that out instead of speaking? It'll help me understand better.
Okay, my next question is uh, how can tone change its meaning?
Hmm, just a moment. Let me check on that. So, tone can change meaning a lot depending on how you say something. Even the same words can come off as totally different things. A sentence can be warm and friendly or cold and sarcastic just based on the tone you use. It's pretty remarkable how much of what we actually hear in a conversation comes from how something is said rather than what's being said. Maybe up to 70%, some studies say.
Okay, my next question is whispering similar to
To what exactly? I'm not quite following what you're getting at there.
Okay, my the last advice. Sorry, my next question is uh, can chef replace words?
Hmm. Can chefs replace words? That's a pretty creative question. I think you might mean can chefs replace chefs with words? If that's what you're asking, then yes, absolutely. You can describe cooking through language. All recipes are just descriptions of the process of cooking. You can talk about the way that cooking smells, tastes, and makes people feel. You can be creative. What do you think?
Okay, my next question is when could you avoid using
Sorry, I'm still not quite following. Could you try rewording that or typing it out instead? The audio seems a little broken up.
Okay, my next question is uh, when would you avoid using
Let me think about that. Sounds like you're asking about when not to share things. Generally speaking, you'd avoid sharing sensitive info about other people without their permission. Also, there's a time and place for personal stuff. Oversharing at work or with casual acquaintances might not be the best move. And when someone's going through something really hard, sometimes just listening is better than sharing your own stories.
Okay, my other last advice to my viewers.
Hmm. Sounds like you're about to give some words of wisdom to your audience. I'm listening. What advice do you have for them?
Love you. सो ये चीज़ें हमारी आज की मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ आपको पसंद आई होगी। मिलते हैं अगली माया के साथ, तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफिज़। पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद, स्कूल जिंदाबाद।